Good morning, cadets. Now, today let us learn about reflection of waves. What happens when a wave reach a rigid boundary, like echo? When a sound wave reaches a wall or a hill, the sound wave gets reflected. This is what we call it as echo. In the same way, if there is a wave being produced on a stretched string, reaches a rigid boundary, then the wave gets reflected back. This is what we are learning as a reflection of waves. The example is echo. Echo is the reflected sound wave from a rigid boundary. Okay, so if it is a rigid boundary, then reflection of the wave takes place in the opposite direction. If it is any other medium, if a wave reaches an interface separating two medium, then partly that wave gets reflected and partly that wave gets transmitted through the other medium. And the transmitted wave through the other medium is called a refracted wave. I think you got the point. When a light wave enters from air into the glass medium, part of the light wave gets reflected and part of the light wave gets transmitted through the glass slab, glass medium. And the wave which is transmitted through the glass medium, we call it as refracted wave. And the wave which is reflected back into the same medium is called reflected wave or reflected light wave. So in the 12th class, we are going to learn the wave property of light. Light behaves as a wave, an electromagnetic wave. This is what we are going to learn in 12th class. But in this class, we are learning basically mechanical wave. Consider a wave produced on a string. Let us consider there is a stretched string which is connected to a rigid boundary. This is rigid boundary. Then if a pulse is produced on this, then this pulse moves towards the rigid boundary. After next moment, this pulse will be formed here. When the pulse reaches this rigid boundary, what happens? That is the interesting thing. When the pulse reaches this rigid boundary, then the rigid boundary, as the term itself suggests, doesn't have any particle to undergo oscillations. So the energy of oscillations will be again returned back through the string. So you will find a reflected pulse being produced, and this reflected pulse will be traveling in the opposite direction. This is the incident pulse, the wave which is produced here. The pulse which is produced here is moving towards the rigid boundary and it is going to incident at this point. So this is what we call it as incident pulse. A wave of single disturbance we call it as pulse, right? When the incident pulse reaches this rigid boundary, then it gets reflected, and this will be the wave pattern, the wave form of a reflected pulse. Reflected pulse. So the reflected pulse returns back, which will be having same amplitude as that of the incident pulse. Assuming that there is no loss of energy. Assuming that there is no loss of energy, the energy will be again transferred back into the same medium. This is what we call it as reflection of waves. Reflection of pulse here. Same thing can be applicable even for the waves also. Now what happens here that is interesting. At the point where it is incidenting, after reaching here, the point which is reaching here is not having any possibility of moving up and down, whereas all the particles on the string here are capable of vibrating up and down by the vibrations of the particle perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Up and down a pulse is produced, and this pulse, when reaches this rigid boundary, fixed end, tight end, the end where it is connected, this end is not capable to move either up or down. As a result, what happens? By applying the principle of superposition, at this point when it is getting reflected, the net displacement of this particle here must be 0, because it is connected tightly to the wall, connected tightly to the rigid boundary. So the net displacement of the particles here will be 0. As a result, using the principle of superposition, the total displacement of the particles at this particular point will be 0. If this is the incident pulse here, then the reflected pulse will be exactly in the opposite direction. The displacement will be in the opposite direction. As a result, the total displacement of the particles at this point is going to be 0. So, a reflected waveform, a reflected pulse is of this inverted nature with a phase reversal. There is a phase reversal. Phase reversal means, as we discussed yesterday, there is an addition of phase of 180 degree, addition of phase of pi takes place. As a result, the net displacement here becomes 0, and then the reflected wave travels back in the reverse direction, the opposite direction. This is what happens at the rigid boundary. So, to show that net displacement here at the rigid boundary is 0, there are two ways. One by using principle of superposition, another by using Newton's third law. Dynamically, when the wave reach here, the particles which are connected to the wall, the particles exert a force on the wall. The rope exerts a force on the wall. Since the wall is rigid, the wall also exerts an equal and opposite force on the rope by Newton's third law. Using Newton's third law, we can say when the rope exerts a force on the wall also exerts an equal and opposite force on the rope. So, as a result, the particles of the rope get displaced in the opposite direction, so that the net displacement at that moment becomes 0. So, in this way, we can state that the net displacement at the rigid boundary is 0 and the phase reversal takes place. This is how we state reflection of wave at the rigid boundary. So, we will write 2 points here. How is the phase reversal taking place at the rigid boundary? I have written 2 points here. This is a pulse traveling along a stretched string. Pulse traveling along a stretched string. As the pulse reaches here at this rigid boundary, the net displacement of the particles of the string at this rigid boundary must be 0, because the particle is not allowed to move either up or down, since it is tied at the closed end. So, as a result, when the pulse reaches here, the net displacement here should be 0. As a result, by applying principle of superposition, the net displacement of the particles of the string at the point of rigid boundary is 0 if and only if there is a phase reversal. If there is a phase reversal, this is by principle of superposition. Second one, by using Newton's third law. When the disturbance reaches here at the point of rigid boundary, the reflection takes place with a phase reversal of pi 180 degree. How? When the string pulse reaches here, the pulse exerts a force on the wall. The pulse exerts a force on the wall. But using Newton's third law, the wall also exerts an equal and opposite force on the string. When it exerts an equal and opposite force on the string displacement will be reversed. The string displacement will be reversed. You can see here. As a result, the net displacement at the point of disturbance of all the particles of the string become 0. That's how phase reversal will be of 180 degree, and the pulse which is reflected back will be of this inverted form. So this is what I have done. As the pulse reaches at the rigid boundary, it exerts a force on the wall. The wall also exerts an equal and opposite force on the string, generating a reflected pulse that differs by a phase of 180 degree. The reflected pulse show the same shape as the incident pulse, but it suffers a phase reversal of phase change of 180 degree or pi. Since the boundary is rigid, the disturbance must have zero disturbance. The disturbance must have zero displacement at the rigid boundary. Okay, this is the case at the rigid boundary. What happens if the boundary is not rigid? If it is a non-rigid boundary, if it is a open boundary. Let us consider second case of a non-rigid boundary. If it is an open boundary, such that suppose this string is connected with a ring which can be movable about this rope, about this wall. Suppose it is not a wall, if it is a stick, if it is a long stick, and the string with the ring is inserted there. As the pulse reaches here, the string which is connected with a movable ring, the movable ring can move up and down, and that's how reflection at the open boundary can be studied. That is the second case. Reflection at the open boundary. Now consider reflection of the same pulse on a stretched string connected to a open boundary, means non-rigid boundary. Think that this end of the string is connected with a ring which can be movable freely about this rod. This is a rod about which the ring can move up and down freely. So such a boundary we call it as non-rigid boundary or open boundary. The example of such a thing in sound wave is the sound wave that is produced through organ pipe. So the example of reflection of sound at a non-rigid boundary is reflection of sound in a organ pipe, wherein in that organ pipe, like a flute, you can say flute, both the ends are open. The ends are open. So reflection of sound in an organ pipe or organ instrument is example of reflection at open boundary or non-rigid boundary. Here it is rigid boundary. You can have a comparison. So when the pulse is produced, see, the pulse is moving towards the non-rigid boundary. This is the next movement. When the pulse reaches here, what happens? The particles of this string, they tend to move up. Since the ring is capable of moving up, so it doesn't exert any force on the wall at all. It doesn't exert force on the boundary at all. So the ring moves up freely. As the disturbance reaches here, the movable ring gets displaced freely in the upward direction, as in the direction of same as that of the vibrations of the string. When it moves up and down. When it moves up and down, it will have the same amplitude as that of the incident pulse. So this is the incident pulse. It is going to be incident pulse at the open rigid boundary, and thus when it moves up and down, you see the shape of a reflected pulse in the opposite direction. The reflected pulse will be now in the opposite direction. As a result, what happens? The amplitude of this pulse remains the same. assuming that there is no loss of energy. So the string particles also oscillate up and down with the same amplitude, and they produce pulse of the same shape without any phase reversal. No phase is added. So incident pulse as well as reflected pulse are in phase. Zero phase difference is produced. Whereas in this case there is a phase difference of pi. So there is a phase difference of pi here. Whereas in this case there is a zero phase difference. So we can say zero phase difference. Zero phase difference. Okay. Now we can write the mathematical equation for incident wave and reflected wave from a rigid boundary, and mathematical equations for incident pulse and reflected pulse at the non-rigid boundary to conclude. Let I for incident, Yixt represent the incident traveling wave which is going to hit the rigid boundary first. First we will write the equation for rigid boundary, then for non-rigid boundary. A sin kx minus omega t. So this is the incident pulse which is going to incident on the rigid boundary, which is going to hit the rigid boundary. Then the reflected traveling pulse at the rigid boundary. At the rigid boundary. Phase reversal takes place. Phase reversal takes place means phase of 180 degree is added at the rigid boundary. Therefore, reflected traveling wave at the rigid boundary, YR, R for reflected at the rigid boundary, is given by A sin kx minus omega t. There is no change of shape. Only thing is there is a addition of phase reversal of phi is taking place. As a result, you will get A kx minus sin kx minus omega t plus phi. So that becomes minus A sin kx minus omega t plus phi kx minus omega t. That's how the net resultant displacement becomes 0. This is at the rigid boundary. Therefore, at the rigid boundary, net displacement of the string, net displacement of the resultant waveform, net displacement of the resultant waveform using the superposition principle, yi plus yr becomes equal to, look at this, a sin kx minus omega t minus a sin kx minus omega t, it becomes 0. So this is at the rigid boundary. Then what happens at the non-rigid boundary? At non-rigid boundary, we call it as open boundary, or you can say open end. This is called as closed end. Closed end. This is called open end. I will write the equation for reflected wave. Reflected wave is here. Amplitude remains same and phase also remains same. Both amplitude and phase remain same. So there is no change of reflected waveform. So I can write A sin kx minus omega t plus 0. So this is what happens at the non-rigid boundary. Therefore, reflected wavefront becomes A sin kx minus omega t. So as a result, what happens? The net displacement. Therefore, net displacement of the string at the rigid boundary. Y becomes equal to, look at this. This is A sin kx minus omega t, and this is also A sin kx minus omega t. Since 0 phase is added, they are in phase. Therefore, yi plus yr becomes equal to A plus A becomes 2A sin kx minus omega t. This is the equation for total displacement, and the amplitude becomes, you can see, the amplitude becomes 2A. Here, amplitude of incident wave is A, amplitude of reflected wave at the open boundary is also A, but in the same phase. Therefore, net displacement using principle of superposition, y becomes equal to yi plus yr, that is equal to 2A sin kx minus omega t. This is how we write the equation for incident and reflected wave, and in the next session we will learn about the special cases, that is formation of stationary waves. What happens when the incident wave and reflected wave superimpose over each other? Suppose there is a wave traveling in the positive x direction and there is a wave traveling in the negative x direction. What happens when they superimpose over each other, when they overlap over each other? So we are going to study the very important thing, that is formation of stationary waves or standing waves. These are all traveling waves. Incident traveling wave, reflected traveling wave. Next we are going to learn standing waves, that is stationary waves. Thank you. Have a nice day.